Well, you said it, Chewie. Where did you dig up that old fossil?
It's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch. It's been a long time since people have been able to go to the movies and see a sort of straightforward, wholesome, fun adventure.
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science.
The story, when you actually put it into words, is only so much nonsense to hang a great visual experience onto. It's the stuff that fairy tales are made of.
Sort of boiling down religion into a very basic concept. The fact that there is some deity or some power or some force that sort of controls our destiny works for good and also works for evil.
Marvellous, healthy innocence. Great pace, wonderful to look at, full of guts, nothing unpleasant. I mean, people go bang bang and people fall over and are dead, but, no horrors. A sort of wonderful freshness about it, kind of like a wonderful fresh air.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention.
Welcome back to Generation Skywalker, and you're listening to episode 31 of Those Old Fossils, our first Old Fossils of 2026, back to talk vintage Star Wars toys and collectibles as we move on from last year's Bounty Hunter series that wrapped up with episode 30, released back in early December. And to kick off this year, we've decided to go big and take a look at the literal big dog of the vintage line, the All-Terrain Armoured-Transport. And what would that vehicle be without its driver? So we'll also be taking a look at the AT-AT driver figure as well on this episode. I'm Dan Burgess, and joining me this evening, I have, of course, our very own cute little Ewok, is Stuart Skinner.
Evening, boys. Evening. Thank you for
doing,
posting
mate?
Those pictures, Dan. At Christmas on me as an Ewok.
Oh, yeah, it was good, wasn't it? You've done well with that. Stu, are you an AT-AT or an 80-80 man?
So if I'm going back to growing up, I would have said AT-AT.
What about now?
I would still say AT-AT.
Oh, there you go. Feel good. And we've got Palatoy Pete.
How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Are you an AT-AT or an 80-80 man?
Definitely AT-AT growing up. I think I'd stick there. I think it is. What is it officially? 80-80, right?
Oh, we can have that debate as we go through.
Yeah.
And he loves his 12 inches, Jez Allenton.
Hello, lads. How are you? Looking forward to this.
AT-AT or 80-80, Jez?
100% AT-AT.
Oh, look at this.
I honestly thought he was going to say 80-80 because he's such a do-gooder.
Just to be different and controversial. Let's have a committee about it. And we also have a fifth host for this episode, and we couldn't talk the AT-AT driver without him. It's our very good friend and AT-AT focus driver collector. We've got Martin Woodgate in the house.
Evening, Jen.
Evening, Martin. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, pal.
Good to have you on.
Are you an AT-AT or an 80-80 man? You get the last say, mate, because you're the expert on this.
Got to be AT-AT, mate. It's got to be, surely.
It must be a British thing, because I don't know anyone British who calls it the 80-80. It's all these Americans, I think.
No, what was it in the Palatoy adverts? That's where we would have got it from, right?
Well, even in the Kenner advert, it's AT-AT.
Yeah,
So, I don't know what's going on.
That's final then.
On our end of the year show we released on New Year's Eve, we discussed our favourite pickups and wants for 2026, but I don't think any of us were very specific. And we also threw in some modern as well. And I also know one of us picked up their first item off that list before the show was even released. So I'm looking at you in that respect, Jez, and your 12-inch Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So I very quickly want to just run through our top 3 vintage wants for 2026, but I want specifics. But I want to come to you first, Jez, because you've been cheating.
Yeah. So I can't include my 12-inch large size action figure Boba Fett in the Empire Strikes Back box, which is awesome. If I'm being specific about what I want, and you say I can have 3 things, I want a carded forlom. Yep, folks, stay with me. Carded forlom, very much something which is on my radar and full of nostalgia for me.
Palatoy Kenner?
Do you know what? I don't think I mind.
Okay.
Because I had a carded for, I had a Forlom as a kid, but because I know that there were Kenners available as well as Palatoys, yes, of course I love a Palatoy card, but I can't be certain that I got it on a Palatoy. I don't know. I just don't know. So for that reason, Palatoy preferably, but Kenner would be fine. And the same goes for my second and third choice as well. I want a Han Solo, original release Han Solo on an Empire Strikes Back card. And I would also like Luke Skywalker original on Empire Strikes Back. And I think I would definitely have to settle for a Kenner one with that, because the chances are of me finding an Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker very difficult.
It's funny you've picked those two out, because that's that you sold me in 2016. You sold up. I've still got both of those.
I know, that is true, because they were very much something which I wanted to have. Do you know what I think? When you bought them off me, you said, "Oh, Jez, if you ever want them back," but no, I'm going to get a Han Solo, because that was the second one that I ever got bought as a kid. And the Luke, well, as you know, and for those who listened to the last show, yeah, I've got myself a Palatoy Jedi Luke Skywalker, and I have myself an open bubble Palatoy 12B Luke Skywalker. So to complete that little run, I'll go for an Empire Strikes Back one. I then, as I said, I don't think I need to go into a triloga. I don't think I need this. I don't think I need that. Just a Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi one would be absolutely fine for me. So those are my three: Forlom, Han, and Luke.
What about you, Pete?
This is actually quite tricky. And the more we do these shows, the harder it gets, because I've got stuff I actually want. And then the more these shows we do, I walk away with it wanting more stuff. I started writing the list and I wrote down, I've got it here. It just says Palitoy Mox various 65, 70, ESB, and Star Wars. So I'll break it down a little bit more. I think a Palitoy 12-back Stormtrooper, I've wanted one of those for a long time. I'd like to pick one of them up. I need to add also to my die-cast run, which is it's pretty small. The Palitoy diecast stuff seems really hard to come by nowadays. So nice to pick up an X-Wing on the Palitoy car back. And I think in the end of the year show, I said an A-Wing, but I'm going to revise that, and I'm going to say a Power of the Force boxed skiff.
Nice.
They're my three. So a bit random. Probably won't pick up any of them. Maybe the first one. I think the Palitoy diecast stuff, it seemed to be when they had all those beaches and the Palitoy employee sales, they seem to be quite plentiful, but they dried up. They don't seem to come up at all. If anyone sees one, give us a shout. I think John Aves is after one of those, so I'm probably second in the queue. But
Game on. Stuart, then, your loose run, I'm guessing they're going to be from your loose run, but I want figure names this time. Not just, I need to finish my loose run. I've been doing it for 10 years.
Blue Snag.
Ooh, yeah.
A nice boxed Max Rebo band with a window.
Nice.
See that one coming, did you? And a piece of Sigma that's missing, which won't happen because I never.
Is that the salt and pepper pots? We put them down.
No, I've got one of them.
Which one you got?
I've got the Yodas. I need the.
Yeah, the droids. Yeah.
I need the bookends. What's the third thing?
You can only have one.
And I need Darth Vader mirror. Well, mate, they don't come up. None of those things come up very often. So if one of them comes up,
pick one. Just one. Come on, play the game.
Well, it won't be the mirror because that never comes up. So we'll go with the salt and pepper pot, but it won't happen.
Yes. Okay. Come on. Have some faith.
I haven't got any.
I tell you what, I'll park my Forlom and I'll take your mirror, Stu. And if I find your mirror, I'll give it you. All right? Because that's quite important. You've wanted that for a while.
Yeah, never seen one for sale in like 15 years.
You never know. You never know. What about you, Martin? Anything you're after this year?
Yeah, a couple of things. But in fairness, they're still the same things I was after last year and probably a year before that as well. So I'd like, the Tops trading cards.
Yep.
UK Tops Series 2 camp display box. But a particular variant, there's one that's got, so normally you've got a red circle with a 5p in it, but there's a variant where you get the red circle without the 5p in it. So I've been after one of them for a good while now, so I'd love to get hold of one of those. There's some Japanese candy boxes by a company called Meiji. I'm short with two of those, and I have been for a couple of years as well, so we've been trying to knock that off. So I still need the Stormtrooper one. I still need the R2 and C3PO box as well. But probably a third thing that I'm really hopeful of getting done this year, because I'm losing the will to live collecting these, and that's the Factors stickers. So there should be 12 of those. I've got 8. I've been limping through that collection for about 10 years now. So, it's got to come good at some point. So, yeah, that's what I'd like to get this year.
Now we're going to have a brilliant year if we all manage to pick up this lot. I've got my 3 items. I've got the Boss Mailer, So carrying over from last year, I'm still looking for that. I've put down a Hoth Stormtrooper on a Palatoy card back. So there's one of those coming up in the next Vectis auction, so I might be able to tick that one off. And I've also put down as kind of my, I suppose, my highly difficult one that will probably won't happen, but I'm gonna put it down anyways. Is the Empire Strikes Back Lucite star that they gave away to the cast and crew. The the glass star that came in the nice little velvet bag. So I'd quite like one of those. So there we go.
Very nice, mate. Good luck with that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll put all those in a little envelope and we'll open it up on the 1st of January next year and see how we all did. And I also just wanted to call out the Total Star Wars toys. The Palatoy Sagas finally started arriving with backers. I've got mine, and I know Pete and Martin have got their copies. What do you guys both think of it?
Yeah, I like it. I haven't read any of it yet, but just flicking through, it seems pretty thorough. There seems to be more in it than I thought there was going to be. It's nice to see that sort of the stuff, because you just sort of collecting for a while, you end up seeing a lot of this bit. So there's quite a lot of sort of behind the scenes stuff I hadn't seen before, a few factory pictures I hadn't seen. But yeah, it looks good. It looks really sort of thorough.
Yeah, same here. I've just skimmed it at the moment. Just sort of flicked through, but yeah, it looks decent. So yeah, looking forward to getting into that.
Yeah, it's got some nice shout outs to the podcast as well. So we're in the acknowledgements, and they've also taken some scans of the looking images we've got on Craig's blog over on generationskywalker.com. So they've called out Craig for that. So that's really nice, and it's great. I think he'd really appreciate that. I gave Kimberly the heads up at the weekend. So yeah, she was really pleased with that as well. So that was lovely. And I've made a short unboxing video for it as well. So if you head over to YouTube, you can watch that. And if you missed out on the Kickstarter and you want to buy a copy, head over to totaltoybooks.com, where they're now available for you to purchase. And we should have Brian hopefully joining us, who is one of the minds behind the book, back on the show over the next couple of months for a follow-up to the interview I did with him last March when the Kickstarter was still running.
The All-Terrain Armoured-Transport from Kenner.
Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about
the AT-AT.
Let's talk about
An AT-AT driver.
Let's talk about
Imperial Walker.
Let's talk about
New AT-AT.
let's talk about
The All-Terrain Armoured-Transport isn't just a vehicle, it's a statement. 4 massive legs, a towering armoured body, a slow and unstoppable advance that perfectly captures the philosophy of the Galactic Empire. The AT-AT wasn't designed to rush into battle, it was designed to make you feel powerless before the first shot had even been fired. We first see the AT-AT during the Battle of Hoth, as the Imperial forces descend on the Rebel Alliance's hidden base. Against the white snow, these machines look impossibly large. Over 20 metres tall, they carry troops, speeder bikes and heavy equipment inside an armoured hull capable of shrugging off blaster fire. Their head-mounted cannons don't spray wildly, they fire with cold, deliberate precision. But the AT-AT's most effective weapon isn't armour or firepower, it's fear. The sound of those mechanical footsteps echoing across the ice tells the rebels that something unstoppable is coming, slowly, patiently and without mercy. That feeling of inevitability was no accident. Behind the scenes, the AT-AT was designed to feel overwhelming from the moment it appeared on screen. The initial concepts were developed by Joe Johnson at Industrial Light and Magic. Working under the guidance of legendary concept artist Ralph McQuarrie, the design drew from real-world tanks and cargo haulers, but the proportions were pushed to extremes. A massive body balanced on long exposed legs. That was a deliberate storytelling choice. George Lucas wanted the AT-ATs to look invincible but not perfect. It needed a flaw, something clever the rebels could exploit. The result was a machine that looked terrifying at a distance, yet fragile once its balance was compromised. Bringing that design to life was a monumental task. The AT-ATs were created using stop-motion animation, overseen by Phil Tippett and Dennis Murin at ILM. Highly detailed miniature models were animated frame by frame, then composited into live-action footage shot in Norway, which doubled for the frozen plains of Hoth. To sell the illusion, the animators studied the movement of large animals, especially elephants. Each step includes subtle pauses, weight shifts, and moments of hesitation. The walkers don't glide, they commit to every movement. That sense of mass is what makes them feel real, even decades later. Inside the AT-AT, the Empire placed its most disciplined soldiers. In the Star Wars universe, each walker is crewed by 2 AT-AT drivers and a command officer, all members of the Imperial Armoured Corps. They operate from a forward cockpit, guiding the walkers' balance, targeting systems, and battlefield coordination. Driving the AT-AT isn't about speed, it's about precision. A single mistake can send many tons of metal crashing to the ground. Behind the scenes, the AT-AT driver costume was designed by John Mollo, the costume designer responsible for the Empire's stark militaristic look. The uniform is a simple grey flight suit, deliberately plain and functional. It visually separates the drivers from the TIE fighter pilots while keeping them within the same cold Imperial design language. The helmet is a variation of the TIE fighter design, smoother and more enclosed, with dark opaque eye visors that hides the actor's face completely. The tubes connect the helmet to the chest-mounted control box, suggesting constant reliance on the machine itself. The message is clear. These are not individuals, they are extensions of the Walker. That anonymity is part of what makes the AT-AT so unsettling. There is no visible emotion, no human expression, just machinery, inside and out. Of course, for all its power, the AT-AT isn't invincible. During the Battle of Hoth, rebels use ingenuity rather than firepower, wrapping tow cables around the Walker's legs and toppling them. It's one of Star Wars' most iconic moments, a reminder that intelligence and teamwork can overcome even the most overwhelming force. Over the years, the AT-AT has evolved into new variants and appeared across films, animations, novels and games. Some stand pristine, symbols of Imperial dominance, others broken and rusted, relics of a fallen regime. Yet, the image remains just as powerful. The AT-AT endures because it feels real. Every part of it, the design, the animation, the costumes, was built to serve the story. It's a perfect blend of imagination and craftsmanship, of spectacle and meaning. More than a machine, the AT-AT represents the heart of the Empire itself. Massive, intimidating, and seemingly unstoppable, until courage, creativity, and hope find a way to bring down even the biggest giant.
Hey guys, you ever seen that really old movie? Empire Strikes Back?
Jesus, Tony, how old is this guy?
I don't know, I didn't carbon date him, he's on the young side.
You know that part? Where they're on the snow planet? With the walking thingies!
Maybe the kid's onto something.
Hi now, Tony, go high.
Yes! That was awesome!
Stu, you must have had an AT-AT, I reckon. Knowing you, you had several.
Well, actually, no, we didn't have an AT-AT.
Wow.
We're talking as kids, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousins had it. I can remember whenever I was around there, I was always fascinated playing with it. No, we kind of had... So my brother and his cousin, they're the same age. They tended to have the opposite of the ships. So my brother had the X-Wing, so my cousin had the TIE Fighter. My brother had the Falcon. He had the Death Star, where they had the opposite of stuff. So we're always together. So it was kind of like full set.
So what was the opposite of the AT-AT then? Rebel Troop Transport.
I don't know. They probably just... No, we didn't have one of them. They probably just... I don't know.
What did you have? What did you have, Pete?
I never had one, and I still never had one. I'd like to, it's on my list to pick up one, but no, I remember, I don't know whether it was just sort of mates of mine, but it seemed that if you had the Falcon, you didn't have the AT-AT. You know what I mean? Because I had a Falcon and I never got to the AT-AT. And then I had friends who had the AT-AT and didn't have the Falcon. And I think if there was anyone who had both, they were just fully flexing. They had both. You're like, wow, it's kind of got some serious toys going on. No, I don't know why I didn't, because I was so into it. Why I never got it for Christmas. Maybe BMXs came in. Maybe the BMX was kind of coming in.
Jez didn't have one either, did he?
Well, you don't even need to ask me that question, do you? Because if you know of my fondness for the Rebel Transport.
What he wanted, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% wanted one. I had a friend who had one and a Falcon, Pete.
Oh.
But yeah, it was one of those things where you just wanted it, didn't you? However, I felt like I was going to be so close one day if I could just give you this little thing that... Can you remember bringing buy sales? Were they a thing in your area?
Yeah,
Something called a bring and buy sale, like like jumble sales, but slightly posher, weren't they? But it was a bring and buy sale. We had a school bring and buy sale, and I think about it, must have been sometime in 1982. I don't think it was as late as 83. I'm convinced it was 1982, and they were setting up for it the night before, or maybe it was the morning of, because I remember people seeing it all get set up. And someone had taken a load of Star Wars ships, and there was an AT-AT there, and I was like, "Go on, Mum, get in there, Mum, get in there first, get in there." And yeah, I don't know who had that, but it wasn't me. I was just so close. It was so close, but yeah, what an incredible beast.
What did you get? Did you get anything? You get another Rebel Transport?
I think I got a book.
Martin, you're not going to let me down, are you? You must have had an AT-AT growing up.
Nah, mate, I had one, yeah. I can still remember getting it as well. I can actually remember getting it. We got it at Hamley's in Regent Street.
Oh, nice.
So we used to go up there every Christmas Eve, look at the lights and stuff like that. I remember I got that They picked it up for me then, give it to me next day. So it was pretty awesome. Remember Dad trying to lug it back to all the crowds down Regent Street. Yeah, fond memories of that.
Did you have the Millennium Falcon as well?
I did actually, mate.
Oh, look at him flexing. Look at him flexing.
Swinging. He's swinging. He's coming out swinging, isn't he?
Oh, Pete.
Oh dear. Well, I loved it. I thought it was the best toy. I think it's in fact, I think it is not only the best toy in the Star Wars line, I'd say it's one of the best toys ever.
Oh.
I think it's brilliant. And I had that, and I had a Falcon too.
Oh, God. Just rubbing it in now.
What about the figure then? What about the AT-AT driver? Who had AT-AT drivers? All of us have one, or?
Yeah, I certainly had to figure. I remember that pretty well.
How can you have the driver but not the toy?
Exactly. Sure, I did with him.
It was always one of my favourites as a kid. There was something about it. I can't put my finger on it, but there was always something that he was always a mainstay in the middle, you know? Probably stabbed Luke in the heart or something in my games. Jez wouldn't have done something like that though, because his would have done exactly how the movie happens.
I'm just thinking about Dan going, how can you have the figure and not a toy? And I'm looking at thinking, right, I had the TIE fighter pilot, I didn't have a TIE fighter, I had the stealth commander, didn't have that, I had an AT-AT commander, I had an AT-AT driver. What else? I think I had a Rancor keeper, didn't have a Rancor, I had a B-Wing pilot, no B-Wing, and I had a twin pod cloud car pilot.
You had your imagination, Jez.
So I just had my imagination and my unlicensed Lego.
Oh dear. What did you have an AT-AT driver? Though?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a nails figure, isn't it? Just looks brilliant. It looks awesome.
I reckon Martin had 2 AT-AT drivers for his AT-AT.
You know what, mate? I did as well.
And I bet you got them from Hamleys in London, real posh.
I'll tell you, I'm not sure where I got those from, but it was when I started collecting, which is only about 2015. Just after that, I sort of dug my AT-AT out the loft, and it was quite nice when I cracked it open for the first time in what would have been 30 odd years probably, and just sort of popped back the canopy, and I had 2 AT-AT drivers sitting in there.
Nice. Well, I didn't have an AT-AT driver. I had an AT-AT, but no AT-AT driver.
Oh, who would have the toy with that?
I know.
That's the worst way round. That is.
But I had 2 AT-AT commanders.
Well, that's not good. They're not driving it, though, are they?
Well, they are. They can drive
in the
them.
Cockpit and then get back out again.
Well, my one could drive it. Those 2 of them, they done a good job.
Oh man, that is weird. That is the weirdest thing I've heard all day.
You should have been pally with Pete, and then you could have played and everything.
Yeah, I could have brought my AT-AT driver over. He wasn't doing anything else.
Do you know what though? I remember being in. We was on holiday in Devon, and we was in Exeter, in the town centre. Is there like some sort of independent toy shop there? I was only been 5 or 6, and this boy walked out with an AT-AT driver, carded, and I was like, oh my God. I'd always seen it on the back of the card back. And I remember looking over his shoulder as she opened it. He's looking back at me as if saying, who the bloody hell are you? And he tore it off the card and threw it in the bin. I was like, oh man, I'd love that figure. I think that's why when I got back into vintage collecting, I mean, it was like the first figure I bought. And trauma from a kid from being deprived from AT-AT driver.
You were a focus collector of the AT-AT, weren't you?
Yeah, and then I discovered Martin was and saw what he was up to and thought, I'm getting out of this.
You can be fair, it was one that I would have considered as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely figure. It is a good figure.
It's great, and the card back looks so good with it as well. He's spunky. Martin uses that word all the time when I'm with him.
Absolutely, mate.
So what's your excuse then, Martin? What's your why the AT-AT driver is your focus? I mean, obviously you've got good memories of it. Is that the reason why, or is there more to it than that?
No, it is. It is that. I mean, to be honest with you, when I got into collecting, as I said, it's probably about 2014, maybe 2015. I kind of decided to go with a figure focus, and it was a close thing between a Stormtrooper, TIE fighter pilot, AT-AT driver. I mean, I loved all 3 of those. I thought they were brilliant, and they were always my favourites growing up. Just plumped for the AT-AT driver in the end, mainly because I think it was probably my favourite.
I don't blame you. It's a good figure. It is a good figure.
They've all got very similar facial features on their helmets, haven't they? So you said TIE fighter pilot, Stormtrooper, and AT-AT driver. So you got a type, haven't you?
Yeah, love a trooper.
I think from what I can gather, I'm going to guess then that we've all got AT-ATs and AT-AT drivers, except Pete, who's just got an AT-AT driver.
Yeah, and only one. I haven't even got 2. So
you need to revise your list and add an AT-AT to it, I reckon.
How can you have the collection you've got, Pete, without having an AT-AT?
How have I got to the collection I've got without having an AT-AT? I know. I never got to it. unless it's hangover from childhood. Like I can't have both. I can't have the Falcon and the Hatter.
They're like kicking people off the call, and just like you can come back when you've bought one on eBay.
The ATAT was why I got back into collecting. I bought something on eBay, local. I can't remember what it was. And picking it up, it was in Herne Bay. But do you ever, like, when you go to click something, you just click what else they've got for sale? And they had an ATAT, and I can remember just like, oh, I'll buy that. When it picked it up, and it was like, chin guns and everything. Still got it standing up. But it's, yeah, brought it home, and I can never forget. I put it on my dining table. Claire was like, oh my God, what are you doing?
If only she knew.
We had sold in my old house. I sold it all my stuff, because I had got a lot of it in the loft, and I think she thought she was clear of it, and that was like, yeah. Then I made friends with Matt Fox in Canterbury. You know, the bloke, the poster guy.
Yeah,
does
yeah.
the tour. And I used to go around his house and just pick bits and pieces up. He had buckets and buckets of stuff. So I used to pop in on a Friday and see him. Became mates with him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first item I bought back. One of the first items I bought back when I was buying vehicles. I think I bought a job lot, and there was there was a Falcon, an ATAT, and a Slave One piece. So I got all of those in one go when I started collecting again.
Wow, living the dream.
50 quid, mate, back in 1999.
Living the dream straight away. I may have pigeonholed myself because I think I won a Pally Toy one, and I'm probably quite picky with the condition, so that's made it harder.
We'll find one for you. We'll do that.
I reckon you'll buy one at Echo.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
You will.
I mean, I was stood next to him the last Echo, and I was selling two. So
yeah, you had two lovely ones, but they're standout, Pete.
There was a Canadian one, wasn't there? I was asking about that. I think, yeah, I'm going to hold out for a Pally Toy one, but if a nice one comes up and it's there to be had, I'll do it.
How many ATATs have you got in your collection, Martin?
3.
Just the 3. Okay, yeah. I thought you were going to say you had a whole run of them as well.
3, they are massive.
They're just too big. I mean, they're super cool. They look awesome, but they're just way too big. I certainly need a bigger house. So I was going to do a focus on them.
It's a fantastic toy, though. It's definitely. Do you not agree? It's up there. It's like one of the best toys ever.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
A committee, I think, on vintage ships.
Its new AT-AT, the All-Terrain Armoured-Transport from Kenner. Batteries not included, action figures each sold separately. You can make AT-AT walk. Its legs are big enough to crush obstacles. You can move AT-AT's head and pretend to scan for rebels. AT-AT has a cockpit for Imperial Commander and AT-AT driver, and laser machine guns. When you push a button to fire the laser cannons, you activate battle lights and sounds. There's even a troop compartment. New AT-AT from Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection.
Jez, then, do you want to give us a bit of an overview of the AT-AT then, and when it was released and where it was released?
Yeah, okay then. So it first came out in 1981 on Empire Strikes Back line. So the huge AT-AT where the dominant image, as you can imagine, with Empire Strikes Back is such a huge feature, is the vehicle, as we'll come to know it, on a sort of Hothy background with the snowtrooper figures there, and Luke X-Wing trying to sort of climb up it, and then some Tauntauns and other Hoth figures, including Leia, just to the left-hand side. Huge bit of marketing, which was taking the shelves by storm. So that came out in 1981. It was also re-released for the Return of the Jedi line as well. It also came out when they did another version with the action figure accessories, the bag with sort of 10 bits and pieces. However, I'm just going to pause on this stage. So 1981, Empire Strikes Back, 1982 with the bonus accessories, and then 1983, Return of the Jedi packaging. So you might think, okay, yeah, so 3 different lots of packaging then. Okay, so you've probably got Kenner versions, probably got Palatoy version. How many versions, just pop quiz, someone here might know. If you do, just maybe hold on to the end. But how many boxed versions do you think there are? First of all, I'll go to you, Peter.
Well, the way you've set it up is probably way more than I think. But
so how many would you suggest? How many would you reckon?
Well, I know there's Canadians as well, and I suppose a few Europeans. 10?
Right, okay, Dan?
I'll see he's 10, I'll go 11.
Right, okay, all right, then I'll see where this is going. Maybe I framed it wrong. Stu, how many do you reckon, mate?
I've seen his 11. I'm going to go 12.
Cool, crumbs. All right, so we'll save
it's
it.
Well, so you've got 2 Palatoy, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, hang
you've
on.
got tri-logo or bi-logo.
Should we go to Martin? Should we see what Martin's got to say?
Oh, it's going to be 13 then, mate.
Oh, right.
You don't know either.
Right. So a couple of interesting bits here. Yeah, Stu, you were just about to reel off a few lists there. Go on, mate.
I'm not reeling them off. I was just going to try and guess and work it out.
Yeah, go for it.
There's got to be a couple of Americans. There's got to be a couple of Canadians, yeah?
Maybe a little bit more. So
Really?
I was doing a little bit of digging on this yesterday, and
I'll go for 15.
okay, close, 16.
Winner,
16.
winner,
All
Stuart
right.
Skinner.
So just bear with me for a second. I was looking initially on Star Wars Tracker, and Star Wars Tracker showed 4 different versions. So you had the Empire Palatoy, you had the Empire Kenner, and then you had Return of the Jedi. And as you've already mentioned, there's Canadian, but it also had a variant of the Return of the Jedi one with the John Menzies sticker. And I did a little bit of sort of Googling, a little bit of looking online, and I found a John Menzies sticker one, which was listed on Star Wars Tracker. And it took me to an eBay link, which had been sold by an eBay seller called Mike Strange. And I was like, I recognize that name. And then I recalled that on Star Wars Forum UK several years ago, there had been a whole thing that Mike Strange, who was a forum member, still active in the Star Wars collecting community now. I believe he collects yak faces. He was slowly ticking them off, slowly collecting as many as he could. It was a real focus of his. So he listed that the 16 different AT-AT boxed variations are Canada Offerless, Canada Accessories Offer, Canada Sears Offer, Canada Distributing Offer, UK Empire Strikes Back, UK Empire Strikes Back John Menzies Stormtrooper Offer, UK Return of a Jedi Accessories Offer, Yellow Circle, UK Return of a Jedi Offerless with a black AT-AT sticker, and UK Return of a Jedi John Menzies poster offer. And then you go over to the USA Empire Strikes Back Offerless, USA Empire Strikes Back Offerless with a rebate offer, USA Empire Strikes Back Accessories Offer, USA Empire Strikes Back Accessories Offer and rebate, USA Return of a Jedi, Meccano ESB, Meccano Return of a Jedi. And known to have a Harbert sticker as well at some stage. Incredible. And this was on Star Wars Forum UK, and it was quite interesting for me to sort of go back through that, because I actually made a post on May the 23rd, 2015, Holy Imperial Walkers. Cracking stuff, well done. And Mike is showing his wall of fantastic boxed AT-ATs. Yeah, they really, really do look great. He stopped at 12. Couldn't get hold of the USA or the Kenner ESB offerless box with rebate sticker, and he couldn't get hold of the French ones or the Canadian Sears special offer. But yeah, what an image.
I reckon you should pick up the mantle, Pete, and start that run up.
Get the last however many he's after. Yeah, how many did you get to? 12.
Yeah.
16.
You got to 12.
There's 4 missing. So
So,
5.
you know-
How many Palatoys? 5, you said.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
5 Palatoy.
Different
And
Palatoys.
3
But
3
this was-
Empire, 2 Jedi, right?
But this, do you know what though? This is it. This is now where people need to be looking out for these, because one of the Palatoy ones, which is, the special variant, is the John Menzies sticker. And I reached out to Mike yesterday, and him and I were having a bit of a conversation. He sold it for a reasonably sort of significant price, which he said was pretty good deal, really, because when he bought it, it had been listed poorly on eBay when he bought it, because the seller only showed the front of the box and the sticker was on the rear. So I'm not sure if he knew what he was getting when he bought that particular one, but it came with the poster as well, which is super rare. Yeah, he did a really, really good job. He said he's seen a few Menzies versions sold since then, but they're still very, very rare, and he didn't think the poster was included like his was. Absolutely brilliant. What about that? Quite a lot of different packaging variations.
Yeah, surprising. It is surprising.
But it's a beast. As I said, it came out in 81. Loads of stuff with it. Obviously, it came with the batteries. You can move the head. It's got the chin guns we've spoken about. The sound. Lots of things to lose, I guess, with this. If you think about, you've got the AT-AT, you've got the side door, cockpit cover, battery cover, bulb, bowl cover, chin guns, side guns. That's before you get to any stickers or anything as well. So, quite a lot of stuff on the AT-AT, but it's just, it's awesome.
It's awesome. Martin, Jez has stolen some of your selection there. But is there any particular of the foreign variations you wanted to call out? Because there was a couple that came with the AT-AT driver.
Yeah, so I've got the 2 Canadian special offers because they do tie into the Focus, because they did come with the figures. So you had the Sears offer, but also the consumers distributing special offer as well. So the Sears offer just came with one figure, so it's just an AT-AT driver. The consumers distributing one came with 3 figures, so it's the AT-AT commander, the AT-AT driver, and the stormtrooper as well. And my understanding is that all of these offers were applied in store, so literally they'd sort of slit the box open, chuck the figures or figure in, and then just seal it back up again. So the Sears one's quite nice. It comes with a couple of stickers on it. So they put one on the back, one on the front, just to show that it's a special offer. Consumers distributing one is a little bit different. There's no specific sticker on it alluding to the offer, but what it does have, because consumers distributing was, think of Argos, is that sort of thing. So it's a catalogue store. So it's quite nice. The one I've got actually comes with the catalogue from 1982 as well, and the code on the page with the AT-AT and the 3 figures matches the code that's on the label on the side of the box. So that's how you tie that back as being a consumers distributing one. So yeah, they're quite nice pieces. I like both of those.
So have you got those? I take it you had them without the figures?
No, I bought them with the figures.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes, nice. I got those off of Mr. Rayner, both of those.
So have you still got those in the box just as they were, or have you taken them out and put them in acrylic now or anything like that?
Yeah, so there's the way I've got them displayed is I literally got the 2 AT-ATs in acrylic, and then I've got 3 carded figures standing in front of the consumer distributors one, and then 1 carded figure standing in front of the Sears one, plus also a little display of a sort of photograph of the page in the consumers distributing catalogue, which shows the item as well. So I've just sort of got that sitting between them.
Beautiful.
Very nice, mate. Can I just ask you a quick question, Martin? Because you said you've got your Kenner ones in acrylic. So I had no idea of this little sort of fun fact that I uncovered yesterday with regards to the dimensions of these boxes.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. I got that wrong.
Oh right. So
yeah. So when I got the acrylic first time round, it was actually for the first issue.
Yeah.
Which is slightly longer. No, actually it's the other way. It's slightly shorter, I think, than the second issue. So these ones are both the ones that come with the survival kit. So they were the later ones, and they're slightly longer. So they didn't fit.
Were you guys aware of that? Again, it was something which I discovered on Star Wars Forum UK yesterday. So this forum user, Snake Type, goes on to say, one point of interest for anyone that doesn't know but cares is that the Palitoy UK and Kenner US boxes are not the same size. You might imagine they would be, but they're not. The six-sided full-color UK box is not only much, much prettier than its 2-sided color-stickered US counterpart, is also a little bit wider, a little bit shorter, and a little bit deeper. So there. And he said that there were 2. Sorry?
It's actually a bit worse than that. So the Palitoy,
there are 3, yeah.
The Palitoy one has got its legs bent, and that is why the Palitoy boxes are shorter. Or a bit lower down. The Kenner ones have got the legs straight, so it makes the box higher. But the thing that tripped me up was actually the first and second. There's actually a difference in size between the first and second release of the Kenner boxes.
Kenner ones. Yeah. On GW acrylic, Christian's going out of his way to say, make sure you're getting the right one, because he's got 3 different boxes available at GW acrylic with the specific measurements and the dimensions there. So just a point of interest that I had no idea about this time yesterday.
There's a good bit of info. I mean, I've got my Falcon in acrylic, but I still haven't put my AT-AT in acrylic, and it's one that I need to get off of him. So thanks for pointing that out, because that might come in handy in the future, that bit of information. Loose prices, Martin, you got any view on those?
Do you know what? I was having a little look at these, and I was surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, mainly the ones that have sold recently, I suppose not surprising being over here, and the time frame as well, were mainly the Jedi by logo ones. But there was a massive price difference. They seem to be starting off about, some were selling for 150, some were 300 plus. And I've got no idea why. I mean, I think a lot of the 300 plus ones seem to have repro inserts, whereas some of the cheaper ones didn't have inserts. But bizarrely enough, there was one that seemed to sell for about 180 quid, and I think that one had genuine inserts and was probably the best of the bunch. But as I said, there were others that were going for almost double that. So don't know.
It seems to be that, I think, because it's kind of like I think the first thing you do when you get back into collecting is probably one of the first, between that and the Falcon, is probably the easiest to obtain and probably the most memorable for people when they were growing up. So people do seem to probably overpay for them sometimes if they're if they see them and get kind of, they've got the bug and I want an AT-AT, and prices are really all over the place. I mean, I've seen AT-ATs that you complete with the chin guns and the battery cover, and it really does range from about 150 all the way up to 250, even for a loose one. Depending on what people are willing to pay on a day, and even the kind of the spare parts, the chin guns. I mean, eBay's awash with repro ones, but if you can find a genuine set, you're probably looking between £60 and £70 for those. Seems to be the going rate at the minute, and the bulb covers probably another 20. They're the tougher items to get that generally go missing.
Yeah, that was one that surprised me. I was looking. I mean, the chin guns were known for a while, but I had no idea the bulb covers are starting to go for that sort of money now.
But they're always the thing. I mean, when you pick up a job lot of stuff, there's generally an AT-AT in there, and they're always the parts that are missing. The side cannons might be on there and the cockpit cover, but yeah, that bulb cover and those chin guns are pretty much guaranteed they're not going to be in there. Okay, shall we move on to the pre-production then, people?
Yeah, there's quite a bit. There's lots on the archive, as you would expect. There is the sort of line art rendering of an unused AT-AT head. So this was an early design when they were sort of obviously trying to work out how best they were going to do the chin guns and the firing mechanism. And this was originally designed to be like a hand-turned crank that sat underneath the head. There's a really nice illustration on the archive to show you how this was going to be done. So in the end, it actually was like a handle and a button, isn't it? In the body of the walker, I think you control it from there. So it's interesting to see how it was going to be. It wouldn't have been as much fun, I guess. You could control like just having the crank underneath the head. Looks a little, the playability value sort of goes out the window slightly on that. It's good to see how they were developing it. There's a blueprint on there that also shows sort of the AT-AT head, how they were developing it. I think this was used in a portfolio to show how the thing was going to be developed. But it's amazing to see. I think we obviously know how much work goes into these, and we've just seen it recently with all the Palitoy blueprints and the draftsman's drawings that have been going through Vectis. But you just forget how much work and how much engineering went into these things. It's incredible. And just to sort of see this sort of has survived, it's quite fascinating. There is an AT-AT conceptual painting, which is really pretty cool. It looks like it's almost done. I think it's still pre-production, but it looks like it's almost at the last stages. So it's probably still being used for maybe Toy Fair or just to illustrate what it was going to look like. And it's interesting. It looks like it's the same artist who did the Hoth Ice Planet playset. Looks very similar. The colours used in that illustration are pretty similar. Moving on to the Revenge proof sheet. Obviously, we're pretty familiar with the Revenge proof cards, but obviously they went down the line with all the vehicles and a lot of the various ships with Revenge. They thought they were almost there. There's so much out there, but this Revenge proof sheet for the whole. So you've got the front and one of the sides. Comes in at a whopping 25 by 28 inches, which is just huge. You got the colour bar as well down the side, which just imagine having one of those framed up. It'd just be like an incredible piece. But yeah, it's got the survival kit offer on it, so it's that one. So it's the first Jedi release. But yeah, that's an absolute gorgeous piece. And then they've also on the archive. There's a few bits which were not pre-production, but almost the other end of the line. There's a few things they're presented to keep some longevity going in the line. And there's a what's it called? An Imperial AT-IC, All-Terrain Iron Cannon, which just is you've got to check the image out. It's quite mad. So it looks like the standard AT-AT we know, but they've just cut the back of it. It looks like a sort of a pickup truck, and they've just a giant cannon on the back of it. So I think that may have been a bit of a last minute idea as they were going into the meeting. Just like, quick, put that on there.
I love looking at some of that stuff though. It is great. It's great.
It's pretty bad. You just imagine that sort of getting out there. Quite good. They're obviously just experimenting with everything they had. Also, what I expect would have ended up being one of the most expensive play sets is an Imperial Outposts play set. They've just got the artwork on that, which looks like it's Jedi Endor influence. So you've got the AT-AT, and then you've just got these huge sort of outposts. So I guess it would have been made from plastic. And so yeah, just imagine how big that would have been. You've got sort of the AT-AT there to go on for the side, and then just this huge play set. But that would have been fun, I think, to play with if it had kind of corridors and bits going on. Would have cost a lot of money. Yeah, I guess they were just trying to get the most out of the line towards the end, but sadly that went nowhere. So yeah, they're all on the archive. There's some interesting bits on there. Also in Gus and Duncan's book, there's also the the ATAT coin. Bizarrely, the ATAT coin doesn't come with the ATAT driver Power of the Force card. He got a Romba coin, which was
Right.
he got a Warwick. Sorry, he got a Warwick. Even though they did have an ATAT coin, but yeah, he and Nikdo came with the Warwick coin on that Power of the Force carded figure, which was available in Australia. So they obviously didn't make the connection. Didn't make the connection with the coins, and just threw the Warwick on there, which is it's quite weird when you look at that. But yeah, just in Gus and Duncan's book, it's got the whole sort of the life of the coin, which is really interesting. So it goes from the sculpt through to the hard copy, and then the soft copy, tooling master, etching master, the hobs and dies, and then the production coins. So not hugely on my radar, but the coins, if you're into them, it's a really nice sort of write-up on the full life of the coin. Got all the parts of it as well, so it's quite incredible.
I definitely think when you're setting up your ATAT focus, Pete, you need to get a loose one, cut the back off of it, and recreate that. Do a bit of customizing. Yeah, it would look brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's quite out there.
Stuart, are you ready for us to talk about the INT4 and how that interacts with the ATAT? Most mini rigs get paired with a figure, but this one got paired with a vehicle.
Yeah, the INT4. I did wonder what the hell you were going on about when you put this next to me, but INT4 Interceptor. It's probably one of the worst of the mini rigs, in my opinion. The INT4. I don't know where you boys rank it, but it's not an MLC3 or an MTV7, is it? It's not as good as them. But I kind of see it. The front of it is meant to look a little bit like an ATAT, and apparently it fits into the ATAT. I've never tried that. Anyone tried that, doing it?
Yeah, well, I haven't done it, but there's a picture on the back of on the actual INT4 box of it in the back of the ATAT.
Whenever I look at it as a mini rig, I can't see it fitting, but
yeah, mine's in there now, because it's just occurred to me when you're like, oh, it's the worst of them, and I was like, God, that's a bit of a low blow, and then I realized mine isn't actually on display, it's in the ATAT, which is telling you something in its own right, isn't it? That I would prefer it to be hidden than on display.
That might also make it a bit more of an interesting toy. As a kid, when I had we had most of the mini rigs knocking around, I never really used it. It was just a little bit. I didn't realise it went into the ATAT as a kid.
You didn't have an ATAT to put it in?
No, but I've had ATATs since the 90s and stuff. I've probably owned 30, 40 of these. I've never put it inside an ATAT. When I got all those kids bringing toys in the 90s, the amount of mini rigs I had was unreal. You know, I suppose it's got the box has got an ATAT driver sitting in it, chatting to the ATAT commander on the outside, going, well, I can't drive it, you're going to have to drive it, because he's not a driver, is he, Dan? And the ATAT driver's going, okay, get out of the way, I'll get in it. He's like, yeah, I haven't got a license. Yeah.
I've lost it.
What?
You what?
I can't, it's not there anymore.
It's because it doesn't fit, Jez.
We'll update your list, Jez, and you'll have to add an INT4 onto it.
Where the hell has that gone? Right, I'm going to come back to you, because there's a little bit. Where's my ATAT? I know where the ATAT is. I've just gone into it and it's not in there. Right, I'll come back.
Well, while Jez looks for his INT4, we're going to cut over to Mark from Variant Villains and hear what he's got to say about the ATAT driver.
It's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't trace time.
I'm back with Mark from Variant Villains. How you doing, Mark?
Hello, handsome. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Happy 2026.
Yeah, happy New Year to you too. Off we go. Let's get into it. We've got some lovely variants to talk about today.
We have. But before we get to that, at the beginning of the show, I've asked the rest of the team, what are they on the lookout for this year? Is there any particular variants you're going to be trying to pick up?
Okay. The one that jumps to mind would be and this is, I'm getting into the weeds already, mate, so bunker down. It's a Pop Chewy with the black pouch and the unpainted dot. That'd be probably high up on my list, I'd say. We can talk this time next year, and I'll have picked up a bag full of Grails, and that one will not be amongst them. I just know the way this goes, right? If you're looking for it, it never shows up.
Well, I'm looking at the Pop Chewies now. Which the ones with the black dot?
It's the one I'm after is the unpainted dot. So it's you'll see the ones there with on the pouch. There's like an extra bit that extends up his kind of upper onto his hip.
Yeah,
and it's painted in black.
Gotcha.
Now
there are some POC ones that don't have that. And that's actually the one I need, one of the Spanish ones. So, yeah. But, now that I've gone and said that, I've absolutely jinxed myself. I'm going to have all my mates rolling around in these things by the end of the year, and I'll have zip to show for it. Yeah.
Oh, very good. So as much as it'd be great to talk about Chewy, we are today talking about the AT-AT driver. And it looks to me like there's lots of flavours of AT-AT drivers, but not a lot of difference between them. So take it away, Mark.
Oh, mate, this is a tough one to talk about. I mean, right from the off, I'm just going to push everybody to the website. So as I'm talking, you can kind of flick through the page and try and marry up my words to what's in the pictures here. There are very little in the way of actual mold variations with this figure. Like, there's not really a lot of paint on the figure itself. It's just, I don't know, one hard copy and just a number of tools produced from that. That's all I can put it down to. There's just very little in the way of actual mold variations. So what are you looking for a decent kind of run? You can find COO variations, if that's your thing. And then secondly, of course, is the paint variations. There's enough little, color differences just in the emblems alone to have a pretty, healthy looking kind of mini focus of AT-AT drivers, if that was your thing for 2026.
So in terms of colours, what we're talking reds and oranges, really, I think that's the big differences between these.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on, from their source, from which vendor produced them. But I'll just quickly rattle through. You've got what we call like the family one. That one there was produced by Cada.
Yeah.
Cada AT-AT drivers have orange emblems.
Okay.
Now that mold, what we call the Family 1 mold, that was used in Cada in Hong Kong, and then it was sent later on around the early Jedi era to PBP in Spain, and they produced their version of the figure, which has got it's got a hard plastic torso. If you've PBP figures, that's sort of their thing that they're most well known for, and that one's got dark orange emblems. There's a couple of micro differences in the colors, but that's the crux of it. So next up, you got the what we call the Family 2 mold, and that was produced at Unitoy, which is a Hong Kong-based Asian factory, and they started off with orange emblems, and for whatever reason, they changed to red emblems. So that's why you get the red emblem one. In fact, the red emblem looks amazing, but it's actually the orange emblem Unitoy figure that's probably a little bit harder to find. It was only at a short run at the start, and they changed, and that was that. And then the parts from Unitoy were used to produce the POC, Spanish POC version. The parts were sent to Spain, they assembled them, and they painted them in Spain. So that's your POC figure. Yeah. And the same tool, which Unitoy had, what we call the Family 2 tool, was then sent to the Cada China-based factory, and they produced the version. And this was probably Return of the Jedi, like mid-Jedi era. Actually, it might have been a bit earlier, actually. It might have been sort of 65 back. I can't quite remember. But yeah, so Cada China produced the AT-AT driver, and it's not stamped with China. It's just got a smoothed out Hong Kong. So it says made in, and then it has like just a blank space, basically. And those ones also have orange emblems. So they reverted back to the orange emblems for the Family 2 version of the AT-AT driver.
I'm just reading some of the notes on the website as we're going through. I'm doing what you said, Mark, and I'll follow along on this one. So some of these parts were pre-painted, and they just shipped them out to Spain, and they assembled them there potentially, and they're not really painted in the Spanish factories, or.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of both. I mean, POC is an absolute. It's a complete enigma. It's what is thought to be the case is that the Cada and the Unitoy factories must have had overstock parts, just in stock somewhere, and there was an agreement of some sort, so that they purchased. So POC purchased those parts. Now, some of them were pre-painted, some of them weren't. Some of them were on the runners still, on the if you think of the sprue and the run, all that kind of thing. So they got all those loose parts, some of them painted, some of them not, got all the figures and just basically assembled their own line, which is why you get a real mix of different parts. You get you'll get a certain figure that's got like a Cada arm and a Unitoy leg and a torso from, the front torso from one and a back torso from the other one. You know what I mean? You get these real Frankenstein type figures, and then they painted all the bits that weren't already done, and they released them to the public, and that was they obviously got them really cheap, and it was their test batch, I suppose you could say, before they went into full production later on with the PBP line, which are their ones that they actually shot and produced, you know, from tooling in their factory. So yeah, just a quick little divergent there on POC.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So just to wrap up, I'll keep it short and sweet. So next is Family 3, which is a Smile, which is the tool that was used by the Smile factory. The main Hong Kong version has orange emblems, and it was altered mid-Jedi to the No-Ku version, no COO version, which also has orange emblems. Not really that much to write about there. And there is also a Family 4 tool that Smile used as well. A tiny, tiny little variation on the shoulder for whatever reason. And you can also find figures from within the Smile factory that are a mix of both of those mold families, 3 and 4. So that's kind of it. I mean, I hope that makes sense. Like I say, refer to the website. I want to give a shout out, actually, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Jamie Acott has been a really good sort of friend to the site, brilliant researcher. And the ATT driver, because the figure is so similar, the original guide that was done, it wasn't right. And, you know, Wolf knew it, but it was sort of the best that we could sort of do, really, with, you know, just a single person working behind it, you know. But Jamie just unpicked it all and just put it right. And so what's up on the site now is a really thorough guide that is full credit to him. He did the heavy lifting on that one there and just untangled this absolute mess of a figure and got it to where it is now, which is a really, really handsome guide.
That graphic of all the various headshots, the top of the head, the backpack, the hands is excellent. A really good way of trying to figure out which one you've got or which one you need to go after.
Yeah, that's his work, actually, entirely his work. He's done such a good job. He did all the photography. He's a graphic artist, so he's got a head, you know, a bit of a leg up as far as producing graphics to that standard, and he's done a brilliant job. So yeah, hats off to him for that one. Right, the only other thing I'd add is just quickly to touch on the rifles. Similar to the figure, they're all really similar. Now, that's not helpful, me saying that. So I'm just going to urge people again to go to the website and check out under accessories, check out the rifles. There are differences. You can tell the different rifles apart, plus the one that goes in the survival guide, I think it is. I'm put in the spot here anyway. But yeah, so there's a number of different rifles, and they're all very, very, very similar with tiny differences. Very hard to tell them apart one to the other. All you can do is just get the microscope out and just, you know, nerd out for a minute or two, and you'll figure it out.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for that, Mark. That's cool. I get it. It's a difficult one, isn't it? The differences are so subtle, and even looking at the pictures, you're kind of like, well, why is that one different to that one? And it plays with your eyes a little bit. But that led me on to my last question for you this month is, you know, going somewhere like, I don't know, Echo Base and being a variant collector, how do you kind of keep track of what you've got and what you're looking for in terms of if you've got 50 ATAT drivers and there is a particular one you're looking for, how do you make sure that's the one that you're picking up out of the loose box of beaters is the one you're actually after and you're not picking up one you've got? Is there any tips for people on how to keep track of what they've got and then being able to go to a toy show and identify what they need? Or is it just photographs on your phone and a good memory?
Here's the truth. I'm like a manic list maker. I have lists of lists of lists of lists. I'm like Rain Man when it comes to Echo. I've got you can't remember everything. Nobody can, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that mental, but you just, you know, in your mind, it's like, you know, a dog will bury a bone and in the garden and it will come back there. Each time you go for a walk, the dog will go back to that same spot again. It's like that with Star Wars with me. You just know exactly what you need. It's like, I got that Tusken Raider staff. I need that Ugnaught smock from that color. And, you know, I need this exact COO. And it's just, it's sad. It's just, yeah. I would, there are times when I wouldn't know what day of the week it is, and yet I can tell you like 12 different mold variations of a Darth Vader, and I need 3 of them, and it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. I'm sure.
So there's no golden rules. You just rock up and just try and remember what you need and make a list.
The problem you always have anyway, even if you were like turning up with the phone on full charge and you've got like this list of what you need and you're pulling the side, you haven't got any Wi-Fi there.
Yeah.
So you've just got to go with a good sort of half dozen things and pray to God your mates from Denmark and the Netherlands and America haven't given you a shopping list of stuff that they want you to search for as well, which is inevitably the case. So you got to get there and have just a short list and just smash it out. Just try and get in there and get your stuff done before everyone else nicks it from underneath your nose.
Nice. And in terms of the AT driver, do you rank the figure? Or is he?
I mean, it's an amazing. I love the figure. Absolutely love the figure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people. I don't really think there's any like hardcore. Like people will collect them in volume, but I don't think I've seen anybody go all out and do a run of like in from a variant point of view, like this orange one and this red one. I mean like deep in the weeds. Like maybe myself and Jamie, just because we did it, because there's not much. It's not a flashy variant. It's not an expensive figure. People kind of overlook this one a little bit, which is sad. It's a really cool figure, but because it doesn't have like the big price tags of like the toxic Bosk or whatever, it just doesn't have that kind of allure that those ones have. So therefore, it falls between the cracks. This is one for the micro variant collectors. It's like there's different layers of hell, and when you're getting towards the absolute bottom, there's the micro variant collectors who have to have like 17 different AT-AT drivers because there's like tiny shades of like strawberry to crimson and the red, whatever it might be. It's mad. That's sort of where he falls. He's not one of the flashiest figures, but it is a really nice figure. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to take a look at it and at least get the main ones in their collection.
Well, that's great, Mark. And if you haven't already, head over to variantvillain.com and take a look at that AT-AT driver overview. It's fantastic, and obviously they've got everything you can imagine about every variant possible for every single figure. That's right, isn't it, Mark?
It's a lifetime. It's 2 lifetimes worth of work ahead of me.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that, Mark, and we'll hopefully catch up again next month.
All right, thanks, mate. All right, see you soon.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Guys, I have found my INT4, and I'd like to come back to Stu. We need a committee because this is brilliant. It's a really, really good ship. It does fit nicely in the AT-AT.
Mate, they're all right, but that there is not the MLC3, which is
we're doing a mini rig committee for sure.
But
the best one's got to be an MTV7.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
I'll bounce something down, don't they? Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
MTV. Yeah.
This is a great one. It's definitely
Forest Ranger's better than this.
It's not Forest Ranger's not a patch on this.
PDT-8's better than this.
Not true. PDT-8 is awful.
Actually, Martin's right. Actually, the MTV7, because you used to be able to push the wheels down.
Yeah,
I always wanted it to shoot off, and it never did.
Yeah.
But this locks the wings down. It's got a cockpit coming up. It's got a little Knight Rider red thing at the front. It's pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, looking forward to that committee.
Where did you find it? Where did you wedged it?
Yeah, I had actually put it on my windowsill with a couple of other mini rigs, but I've got my blinds pulled down. So yeah,
if it's so good, Jez, I expect you to have a Focus by the end of this year. Okay?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah,
it's one of those mini rigs are difficult to get.
Yeah. Can I ask a question with regards to the AT-AT and the picture of it on the packaging? Because when you look at the original AT-AT image, it almost looks like a puppy wanting to play. Do you see what I mean? That they haven't figured out how to pose it, how to get the legs right, like it is in the movie. So when you look at the original sort of Empire Strikes Back one, it's sort of going back on its legs as if it's a puppy just about to jump for a bone.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like it's posed like that in so much of the promotional stuff for it. They never stood it up like it was in the movies, although it would easily do that.
There's an image in the Sears catalogue where it's actually got 2 of the legs bent the other way. It's like some sort of camel type thing, and it's got one going forward. So that wasn't a bad effort. when Pete was going through sort of the extra stuff, the pre-production and the post-production, the extended line range, and that the binder which had the ion cannon in also had the ATAT, and it's actually got the best version of the legs there, and it looks really, really good. That's how they should have had it on the box. I mean, we all loved it as a kid, but when you look at the Return of the Jedi version, it's got the ATAT stomping. It's got one of the legs like in the air. It's trying to give that dynamic movement image of it walking along, sort of stomping. But again, I don't think they ever managed to get it right. I think this is where the man who shot Luke Skywalker, from the photography point of view, I just don't think they ever got the legs right on the ATAT packaging. Thoughts?
So of its time, I think it's great. I don't mean, it's always stood out to me. Why have they posed it like that? I mean, I'm just looking through the man who shot Luke Skywalker now for some of the other shots in it. There's a really great shot of it walking across the snow with about 4 other walkers with ATSTs, snow troopers coming at it, and it's a great image, and it is stood properly in those images. So I don't know whether that was for the purposes of the packaging, so the head of the vehicle was pointing downwards towards the other figures that are on the ground rather than it being stood right up. I don't know, but
why do you think they brought a couple of Tauntauns out to fight the ATAT on the box? Let's bring the Tauntauns out. That'll scare it.
I'll send you an image of this because it was what was it used on? It was like a header almost. It must have been for in the shots, but there's 4 of them walking along the snow, and they're all stood up as you would expect them to be. Like, looks like they've walked straight out of the movie.
I mean, could it be something as well? So when they, give an ATAT to Kim or whatever and say, right, photograph that, could it be that they haven't actually told him how it walks? I mean, might you have not seen it?
Yes, that is entirely possible. That is a fair point.
I don't know if they maybe, actually showing footage of it. I don't know about the exact timeline or whether it had the opportunity to see it or whether this was just really early on. It didn't come with any context.
That makes sense. But if you look at the revised image on the Jedi box, the Endor image.
Stomping one,
that's worse.
That's what I would call the stomping one. Yeah. But you can see what he's trying to do.
It's like a crab.
Yeah, I know. So we've got a puppy and the crab. Yeah, right, fine.
I still love one.
But we love it. You need to get one.
I will do. It's on my list.
Have a look at that on the chat. You see what I'm talking about. That was a promotional image they were using. That looks superb.
Yeah, it does look right, doesn't it?
And that is a Kim Simmons picture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that's used in a display, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's store display. Yeah.
So for the benefits of all of our listeners who Dan hasn't sent this image to, Dan, can you describe the image as best you can in your special Dan way?
I think you've got 5. Is there 5 ATATs on there? 4 or 5 ATATs walking across the snow. Yeah, it's really kind of replicating the Battle of Hoth. You've got a couple of ATSTs on there. You've got snow speeders attacking the ATATs, and there's that special effects with blaster fire that's been added in post production. And there's a Rebel troop transport on there, which will please Jez.
Yay! And
this
is
a good image.
In the wrong direction, and there's definitely going to be some blue on blue with those scout walkers in the arcs of fire of the ATATs, but it is a really, really good image. I love it.
Are they micro collection snow speeders as well?
Let's have a look. Let's zoom in.
Could be.
Or die-cast.
Die-cast ones by the looks of it, yeah, to scale.
I remember when I used to play with the ATAT as a kid, you couldn't play with it with the plastic snow speeders. It had to be the die-cast one.
Yeah.
Have you seen the palatable for the ATAT? When the snow speeder fries through the legs of the ATAT, I'm like, how did they do that? Go back and watch it. It's like, well, I can't work out how they did it.
But Jez, the Rebel transport's having a bit of a moment, isn't it?
It is.
In that image,
shining star. I'm so grateful for every time you see something cool and amazing with the Rebel transport. You give me a bit of a sort of heads up and nod. It doesn't look like a gherkin or whatever it was. Pickle. Doesn't look like a pickle, Ron.
The AT-AT attacking Luke Skywalker's rebel base. Can Luke in his snowspeeder halt the Imperial walker?
Okay, Luke, here we go. Steady. Now, we got it!
Will the rebels survive? Only you can decide with Star Wars toys.
So, Jez, tell us about the AT-AT driver.
So we've already said that we love this fella. Came out in again 90. Well, so it came out on a Kenner 41. So Empire Strikes Back. You're talking the third wave, apparently, or third wave definitively. So yeah, comes with its own rifle, and I would say 4 colors. So it looks very much like what we saw on the movie. It just looked gnarly, it looked badass. And what else can I say about the figure? But I think we all love it. In fact, it's about time we did a figure of the year poll. And I wonder where this would come. It would definitely come in the top 10, wouldn't it, fellas?
Where does it normally end up, Stu? Can you remember? Is it...
He's had, off the top of my head, he got to like the last 16 quite regularly. But yeah, probably not much further than that. I think he had maybe an appearance in the quarterfinals, but not, kind of, I think he deserves better.
Yeah. I think, it's a great figure. So from, I think you've asked me to look at it from the Kenner line.
Yes, please.
And I think Martin's going to go on to the others. So when I've looked back through time and have a little look on things like tracker and whatnot, lots of different variations. So 41A, 41C, 41E, 45A, 47A, 48A, 48B and C, and then the Jedi, so the 48D, 65A, 65B, 77A, and 79A. There is one thing I'd like to say about this, though, that we've all said that it's a great card back, it's a great figure, but unfortunately, quite a few of these releases, particularly in the Kenner line, had those dirty great stickers over the front. So the 41A is debut action figure survival kit. You know what the AT-AT came with. Yep, that's there. 41C was nice and clear. And the what did you have on 45A? The display arena. The 47A free fall arm. The 48A was a nice clean front, and then the B's and C's 48s had the revenge sticker. Then you had the free knee none sticker. It was only then when you got onto the 65s that it was nice and clean. The 77As and the 79As before they were given anything else like Anakin and whatnot. Yeah, quite a lot of different Kenner figures to choose from. Varying rarity. Here it's looking at the hardest was the 48A, which has got the clean front and the yellow rear. Only 14 of those shown on Tracker for the entire history of Tracker. So that's what I would class as fairly hard to come by, fairly rare. Now, what's known as very rare is already been mentioned once, the Power of the Force. So the 92-bat AT-AT driver. So this is the rarest of the Australia-only released Power of the Force figures. So also you've got Gamorrean Guard and Nikto. Peter mentioned it earlier on. So the AT-AT driver is paired with the Warwick coin, and the Nikto also have the same coin as well. Now I've looked at this. There's been 14 of those sold according to Tracker over the last 10, 15 years or so. So same number as the 48As, just they don't have the glory so much. So what we're looking at with these, £672 was the first one sold on Tracker back in 2012, and they've gone up to 5,820 due to their rarity for some lovely graded gems. So the average from graded and ungraded is about £3,000, just over £3,000. So I'll just tell you the most expensive ones were a CAS 80, which was 5456, including the seller's fees at Vectis, and then an AFA 80 at Hakes, which was 5,820 converted from its $7,009. So yeah, quite pricey. When final bit on those, when you consider that they're Australian, it's interesting that the ones which have traded hands publicly, 9 have been from the USA, 4 from the UK, and 1 from Germany. So you've not actually had any from sort of eBay Australia or anything like that. So UK is actually doing quite well of 4 of those 14 over the last 15 years or so. So quite a lot to choose from Kenner only.
Nice. You got one of those, Martin?
No, mate. No, it's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, firstly, the Power of the Force logo, it doesn't mean anything to me. So it's not anything that I was, to be honest, I wasn't even familiar with it until I started collecting in 2015. You know, as a kid, I've never seen it. I mean, the card back looks okay on its own, but it doesn't sort of resonate or have any connection to me as a kid. Most of this all driven off of nostalgia for me. But also the other thing is it's $2-3 as Jez was saying, but all of the bubbles are really brown.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are already cracked. And, you drop $3,000 on something and and suddenly you're just a second away from having a £300 loose figure and card back. I just couldn't take the risk with something like that. Bit too brittle.
Have you got many of the Kenner card? You focus on the Kenner card backs, or you just look at foreign variations?
No, I think I've probably got all the Kenner ones, with the exception of the Power of the Force.
Yeah.
I think I've got all the Palatoy ones as well, and multiples of some due to bubble variation and stickers, and I've got a few coin offer ones, FET coin offers and stuff like that. So,
How many is that in total you've got?
Last count, I think it was 40.
Wow. That's you'll have to send us a couple of photos across for us to put in the group.
Just gone way out of hand.
So tell us about some of the foreign variations then, Martin, and what are you aware of?
Some of the interesting ones. I mean, you got the Meccano ones for starters. I mean, they're both lovely, but especially the square Meccano one. That's a lovely card back. Not one that I've managed to get myself. They come up very, very rarely. And when they do, they come up for an awful lot of cash. But beautiful, beautiful card backs all the same. So, would like one of those. But other than that, there's a POC variant, which again is very pricey. And the POC card backs are the one that's sort of twisted 90 degrees.
Yeah, they've got the vertical.
Yeah, and
or horizontal card. Is it horizontal? I don't know. Yeah, it's round the other way.
It's horizontal card on the. They look awesome.
Yeah,
I was actually offered one of those many, many years ago, but it was hugely, hugely expensive. I think $10,000 I was quoted for it.
Ooh.
So there's no way in the world that I was going to be able to get that. But it was lovely to see pictures of it. But there are certainly in the Palatoy, there are a number that are quite tricky to get hold of. So I think there's probably only about 7 different Palatoy card backs. And you got the debut, which is the 30B, and that is pretty tricky to get hold of. And it was actually one of the last ones that I got. So I haven't actually added to the collection for a while now, to the focus for a while now, because I've got everything I want. But that took me a while to get hold of that one. And then you got the 41A. So the first one, the 30B's got the larger Palatoy logo. The 41A got the slightly smaller one. A couple of versions of that. So it's factory versions. So one's Cada, one's Smile. So there's the 2 variations of that. But the really tricky one to get is the 45A. There's still very few of those. I think last time I spoke to Gary about it, I think that we're still only in single figures of the number of mocks of the 45A that are known to exist.
Wow.
So it's nice to have one of those. And that was the last one that had the Palatoy logo as well. The 45B was the first clear one, logo free. Nice looking card, but they're not too bad to get hold of. And then you got the Jedi ones, so the 45D and the 65D, and they're pretty easy. So no problems with those ones. Other than that, there's actually a General Mills one as well, which was heavily toy-tonied, and I've only seen 2 of those that I believe aren't toy Tonys.
Right.
Quite distinctive because they come with a waffle seal. So they were the General Mills German ones.
Yeah.
So they've got a waffle seal, so it's quite obvious, and I've seen that on other carded different figures on the General Mills. They seem to have the waffle seal, but then you start getting all these clear seal ones. So I think they're probably Tonys.
Nice. And then you've got the tri logo at the end there with the alternative image.
Yeah, not a fan of that image. So with the tri logos, we've seen some of the imagery that they use is the same. For different figures. Sometimes they've reworked it slightly, and sometimes they've done it completely different when it comes to the tri logo release. With the AT-AT driver, they've kind of airbrushed the chest box out. So it's kind of left it quite plain on the front. And it's like this one of those ones, I'm looking at it now, I just look at it and it looks like someone's sort of just wrapped a napkin around his neck and he's just about to tuck into his Sunday lunch or something. It's lost a bit. I think it's better with the chest box.
You've got a bit of a focus on the AT-AT driver bootlegs from various countries around the world as well.
Yeah, I just think it's quite an interesting area. So it's one of those things. So with the bootlegs, there's a lot of scope to go really deep into bootlegs, and it's quite a niche area as well. So it's not really for everyone, but just to give it sort of a flavour without getting too bogged down and stick to the AT-AT driver. I mean, basically 4 countries have produced bootlegged AT-AT drivers, and that's Mexico, Poland, Russia, and Turkey. The Mexican ones are semi-articulated, so the legs are fused to the torso. Just the arms move on those ones. The shoulders, they're slightly smaller than their Kenner counterparts, and we believe they're probably produced in the early 90s.
Right.
But they were cast using a mould of a Kenner figure. I mean, you can see all the details are still there. Only the arms are just a little bit different. They're angled a little bit differently. But all the details in the torso and legs are still there. They used to be available carded on their own, or they used to come in bags. And generally there were like 3 in a bag with a little header over the top that was stapled onto them. But the thing about them is the colours. They come in some absolutely madcap colours. Certainly looking at one I've got on the shelf there, I mean, the figure, the torso, the legs are green, the boots are white, the gloves are silver, the chest box is gold, going up to a red helmet with a gold faceplate and a white Mohican. It's kind of bonkers. They're kind of cool as well. And then you've got, in Poland, they produce 2 bootlegs as well. So they both come out in the mid-80s. One of them is moulded directly again from a Kenner figure, and they are fully articulated and they look really cool. But again, lots and lots of sort of madcap colours with these as well. I'm, again, looking at one on my shelf where it's kind of a mint green with orange boots, orange gloves, silver upper torso with a sort of orange chest box, going up to a silver helmet again with an orange Mohican. And there are just so many different colorways that you could get. And you see some of the guys in the bootleg world sort of collecting variants and stuff like that. And they've just got huge collections because you can just go and go and go. And they, I like them though. There's another articulated version out of Poland as well, where they did their own sculpt. So they're very, very similar to the Kenner figures, but subtly different because they've done it themselves. But interestingly enough, with the ATAT driver torso, they're actually paired it with Biker Scout limbs. So it's got Biker Scout legs and arms. But it still looks pretty cool. And again, that one will come in colour variations as well. Plenty of colour variations with that one. But probably my favourite is actually the Russian bootleg, which is by a company called Oritet. And they made these fully articulated figures in the early 90s, mould cast from Kenner figure once again. The limbs tend to be a little loose in these, and the actual figure itself weighs much less in hand than its Kenner counterpart. But there were 3 variations. None of them are painted. They're just sort of created in using a different colour plastics. Basically, the normal version is a one produced in grey plastic, but it's kind of got a metallic-y appearance to it. And I think it looks awesome. But they also created in much smaller numbers what has been coined in the collectors community as ATAT Leader. One of them's got a black torso, one of them's got a blue torso. As I said, not very common at all, but lovely looking bootlegs. So I'm lucky enough to have one of the black torso ones as well as the standard grey.
The standard grey looks super. I'm just looking at the photo you sent us. We'll share this, but it looks brilliant just in that silver. Silver looking colour looks fantastic.
So I think because they're not painted as well, it's just got so much definition in the mould because it's not sort of glooped up with paint and stuff like that, which you do see a bit in some of the other ones. And I mean that takes us on to the Uzay line, the Turkish line that we're familiar with. It's very pricey as a rule, but again they've been created, I'm sure, again moulded from a Kenner figure. So these I think probably come out in the mid-80s, but I like them. Interestingly enough, the TIE fighter pilot as well is also based on the ATAT driver, so they've just reused the mold for the torso for that and just painted it differently. So that one conforms a lot more with its Kenner counterparts in terms of the colorway. So they don't do anything too crazy with that one. But yeah, that TIE fighter pilot, those ATAT drivers, they look very nice, and it's nice to pick them up as well in the overstock. So there were some unpainted torsos and limbs that were found in factory long after they finished production. So I've managed to get a couple of those in the collection as well, and they look very nice too.
Wonderful. No, they look superb. I've never got into bootlegs. I don't know if the other guys have, but yeah, they when you've got them in your collection like that, they do look excellent.
I mean, because all I've done with that, I've just sort of picked up a few. I've literally just dipped my toe in the water with that. I mean, you can go so far with those if you want to. So I think I've kind of done it just to sort of span what you can get as an ATAT driver. But yeah, there's so much scope. But yeah, I like them. Lovely things.
Amazing, very good. Have you guys got any other comments on bootlegs? Any thoughts on those? Have you seen the photo that Martin sent through?
Yeah, no, that photo's amazing, isn't it? I haven't got any myself, but I know when Martin's brought the odd bit along to sell at shows, I've admired them. But yeah, it's like you say, it's a deep field, isn't it?
I went through a stage of collecting bootlegs about 10 years ago, and the ATAT driver used to pop up an awful lot in different ways.
Yeah,
it's quite a broad thing. Mine's collection's amazing of that mine. Love that. You get some more.
What's that? I know it's not a bootleg, but you've got the UP as well, isn't it? Is that doesn't sort of fall into this, but I know you've got those as well.
Interestingly enough, so it's going back a few years now. And yes, I did. I bought a UP ATAT driver, and it was only when I got it in hand I had a look at it, and I contacted Yehuda Kleiman and spoke to him about it and said, why do we call this an ATAT driver? Because when you actually look at it, the tubes appear to go in the front of the mask, opposed to going in the back of the helmet. If you look at it, you can see straps over the shoulder, which you can see on the Kenner TIE Fighter pilot. And there was another thing, the pistol as well. I mean, obviously, ATAT driver generally comes with a rifle, but the UP had a pistol much more similar to that of a TIE Fighter pilot. So I sent him a couple of pictures, and he said, do you know what, mate? I think you're right. I'm going to call it a TIE Fighter pilot from now on. And he's actually changed all the entries in the SWCA from ATAT driver to TIE Fighter pilot. So,
you just didn't want to buy any more, did you, Martin? That was the problem.
So now I've got a TIE Fighter pilot UP for sale.
I keep looking at that as well every show.
Maybe Grant needs some.
No, I've already asked.
So we're on to baggies and multi-packs. So first of all, on the baggies, there were 7 known variations. There were 2 Palatoys. There was a Q baggie and a U, and there was an ESB A, C, D, H, and I. And in the multi-packs, there were actually 2 multi-packs containing the ATAT driver. So he came packed with the Imperial Commander and Dengar in one pack, and in the second pack, he was with Zuckuss and the TIE Fighter pilot. You got one of those, haven't you, Martin? You beat me to it on eBay, I think I remember.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I remember getting daggers off you for that one. Yeah, I still got it. I still got it right here.
That's the Dengar one as well, isn't it?
I'll leave it to you and we will, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. That one. It was a reseal. Well, it's a reseal now. When it turned up to me, it was. It was in pieces. It's got a little bit of damage, and the box was a little bit soft. But I got it in an acrylic case now.
You take what you can get with free packs, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And it just now it's in the acrylic case, and that's all sort of pushed it back into shape again. Yeah, looking at it now, it displays nicely. Yeah, I like that.
It's fun. And there were a couple of multi-packs as well, the department store multi-packs that contained the ATAT driver, and there was also the 6-pack with the yellow background. I think we spoke about that on the IG88 episode. ATAT driver's also in that one as well. I think you got one of those as well, Martin, right?
Yes, mate. Yeah, got that one.
All right, then. So on to pre-production then, Pete.
Yeah, so similar to the ATAT, the archive is bursting with some pretty amazing stuff. Most of it in single known quantities. Got the painted hard copy, which is incredibly rare piece, but yeah, pretty interesting to look at. They've got it as a it's in pieces, so they've got a comparison photo of the hard copy next to a production version, and there's also a disassembled piece as well, so you can see what the actual hard copy is made of. You can see the inside of it, which is pretty cool, and it's got a slightly different paint job on there as well, so interesting to see. And an incredibly rare piece also on there, which is just a phenomenal item, is the original acetate sculpt for the ATAT driver. And this is done in acetate. A lot of the figures were done in wax, which is obviously not that I've ever sculpted anything, but wax is way more forgiving. Acetate is obviously just completely unforgiving. You just kind of, once you make a mistake, you've got to go back to the beginning. And the detail on this piece is absolutely phenomenal. It's like Martin mentioned, the definition you get on some of those bootlegs where they haven't got any paint, but just seeing this all in one colour, it's like this sort of clay colour. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I think it's attributed to Bill Lemon. I know it's sort of referenced on the archive where the Bill Lemon. I think he may have been the original, the sculptor, and these does look similar to some of his other pieces. But yeah, that's an absolutely gorgeous piece. There's an AT-AT driver bagged production sample, which would have gone between Cincinnati and China, just to kind of get the notes in there. It's talking about tape, making sure the taped gun on the inside of the bubble, referenced on this sign-off sample. It's a pretty cool piece. Also, and they're talking to 3-packs. I know they're rare. Their production 3-packs are rare, but there was a test 3-pack, which has got the packaging. It's the Imperial set, includes Zucker's AT-AT driver and Imperial TIE Fighter, and it's all in white. So it would have just been a test to make sure the packaging worked. And all the folds are in place, I guess, to make sure that they were supplying the correct dimensions, that these things were actually going to fold together. But yeah, again, that's an incredibly rare piece and well worth checking out. And then sort of going on to the cards, you've got the Revenge Proof, which is a really nice piece. And then you've also got the Power of the Force proof card, the 92 back, which we mentioned, of extremely rare production piece, but that proof card is going to be one of very few. And then if you want to do a proof run, this is probably a good figure to choose, because there is the 45 back proof, there is the 45 back display arena offer, and then the 47 back Forlom, the 48 back AT-AT driver, and then the Return of the Jedi 65 back, which is pretty phenomenal. There's also photo art. So the original Tri-Logo, or what was used for the Tri-Logo photo art, was the original photo that Kenner was sent for the first card back, but obviously there was nothing. They only got the headshot and the chest plate, which was pretty bare. So they'd airbrushed it and then realized it just wasn't going to work and asked for more photos. So they get the additional photos with the chest plate. So that photo that is used on the Tri-Logo was the original photo Kenner was sent back in the day before the first Kenner card back. So it was sort of obviously hanging around and ended up on the Tri-Logo. It's referred to in the Matthias and Ben's book. They refer to it as the sort of the man boobs version.
Beautiful. Got any proofs cards, Martin?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Got the AT-AT driver Revenge Proof. Also got the display arena, the Kenner display arena one.
Very nice.
Just those two.
That's gorgeous. That's with the yellow. The yellow really pings with the backing, the colour or the backing of the behind the figure. That yellow, yeah, that's really nice.
On the vehicles and playsets, then, where the AT-AT driver appears, you've got the Hoth scene on the Scout Walker, that's got an AT-AT driver in it, and you've got the Sears exclusive Imperial Cruiser, aka Imperial Troop Transport. He's on that graphic. He's actually driving the Imperial Cruiser. He is on the Rebel Troop Transport. I'm going to ask you this, Jez. Where do you think he appears on that box? You're well versed in Rebel Troop Transport, so I'm hoping you're going to know this.
Not driving, is he? He's not flying it.
Nope.
Oh, is he carrying the bags of stuff?
No, he's on the top of the box and he's actually escaping through the escape hatch at the bottom. That's an AT-AT driver, and he's got the Imperial Commander and the AT-AT Commander giving him a hand getting down through the hole.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He's also on the AT-AT box. You can't see him on the front graphic, but there's a graphic on the top of him of two of them sitting in the cockpit. Obviously on the INT4, like Stu's already mentioned, and there was an MTV7 with a special offer with the AT-AT driver, obviously as the figure that's contained within it. But he is on the box, but he's looking very enviously at the snow trooper. He finally got his way there, I think, with his own special offer box. The packing catalogue for the Palatoy, well, for most of the range in Empire, came with that AT-AT poster, which is fantastic. The only other thing worth mentioning was the Hoth Planet playset, where there's an AT-AT on there. It's not the most exciting playset in the world. Any of you boys got any interest in that one?
I've got one. I like that. I like the box art as much more than the toys though on those. I think it's quite a fun playset. But it's the same as the Land of the Jawas, isn't it? It's basically the same toy.
I think I've taken it out of the box and put it together once, and it's gone back in the box and never come out again.
Yeah, I think it's more about the box art than the actual toy on those.
Yeah, I reckon Martin's got a whole Focus collection of them.
Not got one of those, mate.
Hopefully Stuart's still awake and he's ready to talk to us about Beyond the Toys items.
Now the AT-AT driver and the AT-ATs, they pop up on all sorts of stuff, don't they, Dan? So I'm gonna go with your recommendation. So first of all, the Merritt Coin Sorter Money Box. And he bought one of these when I first got into collecting. because I found it quite fascinating. And I never ever saw one for sale again, which is mental. They're not very readily available. But
I've got one.
have you? Have you got it in the box though, or is it just loose?
No, I've never seen one in the box. I've seen two for sale, or maybe it was the same one. And I just bought it the second time I saw it. But I loved them.
Yeah, it's a lovely piece, and I love the artwork. I mean, Han Solo does not look like Han Solo. It's not him, is it? It's not Harrison Ford, is it? If you've got the image open, you boys.
I have, yeah. I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah. Zoom in on Han. It just doesn't look like Harrison Ford to me.
No.
He's J&L Randall Limited, the licensee. This is in the UK in 1983. Never heard of them. Not sure if they did anything else for Star Wars, but yeah.
I don't know who that is. Just some random bloke.
Oh, wearing his outfit, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of these coin sorters as a kid, and that's why I bought this. Because
you were saving up for an AT-AT and you wanted to represent it while you were saving.
So for those people who can't picture it, this is one where, it's on a sliding scale where you pop your coin in, it would roll down, and as soon as the aperture was large enough to take the coin, it would take that coin. So you would save half piece, 1 piece, 2 piece, going along. And there was even a slot if you were lucky enough to have a note. Yeah, that's a lovely little money box.
When coins were massive as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember how big like the 5p was back in the day?
The old 50p.
Yeah.
Kill someone with it.
Yeah. It's a nice image. The AT-AT is bang in the middle of that header kind of imaging. Now, 1984, you've gone to next, Dan. A Return to Jedi calendar from Hungary, pocket calendar. It's that classic picture of the 3 AT-ATs, 2 of them firing.
Comes up quite a bit, that image, doesn't it? I think there's a few other items in this where they're on there as well.
It must be unlicensed being from Hungary. So, interesting piece. Now, the micro tins. I used to have the display box of this. I know, Dan, you're quite into your tins.
I was until I sold them all.
Made by Metal Box Limited, 1980. I think there was about 8 designs in there for those.
Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there was. 6 or 8. One or the other. It was an even number.
Yeah, same image again with those AT-ATs with the 2 firing. I think we might see that a few
times. And I think this blue postcard next there's as well.
Same thing. So postcards there by drawing board.
Just going through my own collection, I've picked out. I've got the paint by numbers, the Craftmaster one that's beautiful box. So it's that almost that image, but it's paint by numbers. But it looks cool.
Then you got the iron on. I always love these t-shirts. I mean, the t-shirts always look like they're absolutely. I mean, this one in this picture has seen better days, isn't it? Again, it's that same image, Dan, on that t-shirt. Design on it is just got AT-AT Walkers written in like a jazzy, like typical 1980 kind of style writing. But
that image looks like it belongs to a stinking person on day 3 of some stuff convention.
And then this is exciting because we're coming over to some pajamas made by licensee Penshield Limited, 1983. This was another British item, but we've got a different image, which is great. I mean, that hand doesn't look quite right again, does it? So this image then, this is on some pajamas. You've got the Millennium Falcon flying, the AT-AT coming out of like an explosion, firing lasers. You got a couple of you got Star Wars written across the thing, and then Luke in his X-Wing get-up, and Han Solo. And then you got a couple of, well, they're basically bootleg stormtroopers, aren't they, behind Han Solo?
Yeah, a bit swollen up, aren't they? Like someone's had an air pumping against
licensed?
them. I've no idea.
No, just Han and the thing, and the lack of details on the AT-AT. But yeah, great.
They look like the Macquarie stormtroopers almost. They look closer to sort of.
Yeah, you're right. You should the Millennium Falcon's upside down as well, isn't it? I've just noticed it's up the wrong way.
Wait till you see the next one. This is in honour of Craig. This next one.
Oh yes, Luan Lualoa. But I mean, these books are amazing when we covered those. Probably worth going back and reading Craig's blog post on these. But that AT-AT is amazing in the front image. Now these
the disco ball probe droid's pretty funky as well.
Yeah, just in case anyone doesn't know what these are, these were Chinese comic books which were unlicensed, and I think there was around like 24, 25 of them, wasn't there, across the 3 films?
He had a few, didn't he?
Yeah, and like Chewbacca he could change looks in the middle of one comic, couldn't he? Not even between comics. It was it's incredible. But the AT-AT on the cover on this, I mean the actual probe droid is the same height as him. He's loving height. But
I reckon they're like little puppy AT-ATs walking around.
Yeah, I reckon that's I've got a comic. but I much prefer this cover. Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for it for you.
Yeah, Joe probably would buy that, Dan, if you found me one of those. We're going over to the NPC models. I mean, these are brilliant. I still think we should do some sort of a project between us all of building one of these at an event.
I'm up for doing that. I'm definitely. I've got the not that box with the lovely kind of graphic on it. Is the later one they released in the 90s, but I've got it ready to build. So I'm up for building an AT-AT at Echo.
Yeah.
That's the one I bought that off you in December, Dan. One of them.
Yeah. That artwork is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I like the there's an AT-AT on the right, which has obviously been hit by one of the little turrets there, and it's kind of like the AT-AT looks like he's kind of jumping out of the explosion by his feet, doesn't he? His left front leg is.
He's at his foot.
Whoa! What are you doing? Shooting at me? Yeah, those brave snow speeders. I can remember asking Jez if he would got in a snow speeder and attack them, and he went, "Hell no!" He goes, "I only I hedge my bets with what battles I go into." I'm like, "Yeah, bottle it." So that's a great image, Dan. I would like to see that being built.
I'm up for it.
Now, I don't know what these were. AT-AT structures.
Yeah.
Now, this is made by NPC again, 1984. Return the Jedi from the United States. Golden Opportunity Kit, whatever that means. The motorized Star Wars action kit. Build it, wind it up, watch it walk. Anyone own one of these? Mine. You must have one of these in your collection.
No, mate, not at all. Wasn't even aware of it. I know
No.
there are some other ones on the NPC, but I didn't know they did an AT-AT, to be fair.
No, I've had some of the other ones. I've never built one, but I've had a few in a box, but I've never seen the AT-AT one before.
Yeah, I think the box art is fantastic on that whole line. They all look wonderful, but no, it's not anything I've had.
Yeah, that one's kind of got like a faint version of it just behind it, isn't it? As if it's just moved. Yeah. I mean, if you were hammered, you'd have been thinking, "Whoa, what's going on here?" The boxes, I like that. I like that. I wonder how readily available they are.
Okay, we'll look out for you on Echo.
And love this. Back to a poster for the soundtrack. We're back to that image with the two shooting. Actually, that's a really nice.
I love that poster
really
because
nice
it's got
advert.
Express Dairies on it, and I think it's
£1 off album from Wall with some boots.
I've seen a few of those come up on eBay in various places, and they do go for quite a bit of money. I think you're talking to £300 for one of those. I would love to get one of those. I think it's great.
So, fellas, I got an announcement. Everyone loves a live purchase. I've just bought one of those AT-AT structures, 1984 things on eBay. Now I'm going to read the listing after having not read the listing. And, so
Just
let's
the
have a
box.
little look at this. So the vintage 1984 Star Wars AT-AT structures action war kit is a highly sought after collectible for fans of the iconic Star Wars franchise. This item is new and unopened. It has, however, been in storage in a box that's slightly marked. Can be viewed at the Sci-Fi Chamber, Business Park, Bushy Road, Bolton, Owen Times, blah, 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 blah. And I just bought it. Oh, shit, there was a best offer option as well. Oh, well.
Yeah, but you could have lost out to that, Jez. I mean, because I know Pete's also looking right now. So you've you have closed out that.
So I bought it for 15 quid.
I was thinking 15. I think that's a good price. That's all right.
That's a great price, mate.
So, it's expected on the 15th of Jan. So, awesome. So,
I always thought they were a modern item, and I was surprised they're
No,
84. Yeah, they look kind of modern, right?
Most of the ones they did were Jedi vehicles. I've not seen the AT-AT before, but I think they did like an AT-ST.
So, yeah, they've got Scout Walker available. They've got other, they've got 3PO1, 30 quid for AT-ST, 30 quid. There's a couple on eBay.
Got yourself a new Focus there, Jez.
I think I've got myself a good deal there. That's all right. Oh, I love a live purchase.
Nice.
Sorry about that, folks. And Martin, if you really, 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 really want it, you can have it at 15 quid.
It's very nice of you, but no, I think I'm all right.
All right.
Okay, let's go over to any other stuff then. One thing you haven't put on there, Dan, which I always liked. Now, I had an Atari when I was a little snapper, and actually the image on that, I've always been meaning to pick it back up because it's a really nice. He's the main focus on that game box.
But you couldn't have been meaning to get it that much because I sold one at the last Echo. And you were standing right next to me.
Oh, I was too busy putting like massage and tattoo on your table. Yeah.
No, but yeah, it is a lovely image. That it's very iconic. Yeah, it's brilliant. Is there anything with the AT-AT driver on you can think of, Martin? I really struggled to find anything beyond the toys with it wasn't the AT-AT itself.
Yeah, I massively struggled as well, to be fair. I mean, it's one of those things in terms of vintage stuff. no, I couldn't really come up with anything at all. You know, some modern AT-AT stuff, AT-AT driver stuff there is, but yeah, no, vintage stuff couldn't come up.
I'll be honest with you, mine. Everything we've looked at tonight, all those AT-ATs are walking, so there's probably an AT-AT driver in it. So that's the way you kind of look at it. Okay?
I think I'm just turning around, but I'm just looking to see if he's on the vinyl carry cases, because I think there might be an AT-AT driver on those. Can't see. Yes, there's an AT-AT driver on the vinyl carry case. So it's at least one thing you need to get mine if you haven't got it already, if you're that bothered.
Yeah, no, I'll probably live without it, I reckon.
There was an AT-AT in the old Burton's biscuits, wasn't there? One of the designs on that had an AT-AT on it.
That's a good show, actually.
I love those biscuits. I love those biscuits. Any more?
Yeah, the AT-AT poster that we all know was also used on a cardboard store display. I don't know if you've seen that. I've just sent it to the group.
Or the Palatoy one?
Yeah, when it's got like a Jedi sort of logo, but it's a die cut cardboard display. That's a very rare piece. Yeah, I guess a few toy shops had them and then just trashed them at the end of the era. That image was just emblazoned everywhere, wasn't it? It was just like, we just know it so well.
I think because of that poster as well, it came with. I remember laying on bedroom floor staring at that, both sides of that poster. It was, it's brilliant.
One more on the models, the Battle on Ice Planet Hoth Snap Fix scene.
Yep, that's a good one. I never built one of those. I built the AT-AT, but I always used to see that in the model shops when I used to go in there as a kid, but I never picked it up.
I had not that one, but I had the Encounter on Dagobah one, is it? The Yoda one. So, yeah, I remember having that. They're nice, but the trouble is that when you see them now, like the unused ones, the sealed wrapper kind of pulls them, so the boxes are all kind of crushed a little bit. So. But some nice artwork on there.
Something that you were really into, Dan, and and it's a little bit after where the period we're talking, but I know you love the Hamilton plates, and there's a very nice one of the AT-AT on that.
I've cleared out all those things. I don't think I've got any more left.
Yeah, but you always rebuy them.
I'll keep my eye out.
Don't worry, Arthur. We're going.
So that is it for this show. Those Old Fossils will return next month, and we'll be looking at General Veers and doing a figure focus show looking at the AT-AT Commander and the Imperial Commander. But if you're looking for more Generation Skywalker between shows, we have a back catalogue of over 150 episodes, including more vintage collection with the previous 30 episodes of Those Old Fossils and the 5 guides to Palatoy, plus modern collecting with the modern way. We've got committees, interviews, movie commentaries, our Look At series where we discuss the Disney Plus shows and much, much more. If you've enjoyed this or any of our episodes, why not thank us with a 5-star review on your podcast listening platform? It really does support the show and help others to find us. And don't forget to follow so you never miss another episode. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Threads for the latest Generation Skywalker show announcements and more. Just search Generation Skywalker to find us and follow. If you want to interact with us or other hosts between shows, why not join We Are Generation Skywalker Facebook page. And a massive thank you once again to Mark Andrews from the Variant Villains. And of course, we want to thank Martin so much for coming on tonight and sharing all of his knowledge. It's been great having you on, Martin. Thanks so much, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. I've enjoyed it.
Good. So it is good night from Stuart.
There's one more drink, friend. Go on. Yeah, love you. Bye.
It's good night from Jez.
What a wonderful evening and a live purchase. Thanks ever so much. See you next time. Cheers, mine.
I didn't forget you this time, Jez. And it's good night from Pete.
Nice one. Cheers, guys. Cheers, mine. Good to have you on, mate.
And it's good night from Martin.
Cheers, guys.
And it's good night from me. We are Generation Skywalker. All eras, all passions, all Star Wars. Bye.